G'day, welcome to another episode of Country Life on the Coast. My name is Sean, and on today's episode we're going to try out our new Ryobi Pressure Washer. We need to clean our shed. It's starting to get some growth on it, so we really need to clean it up, give it a good pressure wash. Now, I didn't own a pressure washer, so I had to go out and buy one. If you see my other videos, well, I buy a lot of Ryobi gear. So far I've found it to be really good for around the house and DIY use. So I thought we would try one of their pressure washers. And what we're going to try is this one, which is their Ryobi's cheapest pressure washer. So this is good for 2000 psi. It's got a 5 meter a hose, adjustable nozzle on it, and also you can adjust the pressure as well. So curious to see how well it works. It does come with a 4-year warranty, which was one of the selling points that I really liked about it as well. It's small, compact. Hopefully that's a good thing. So let's pull it out and see what else comes with it. Always read the instructions. Alright, so we've read through the instructions, sort of worked out what goes where. So now just using the instructions, and we'll put all these little pieces on where they're supposed to go. Now the handle now goes on. Probably be easier if I was looking at it front on, but just trying to show you how it goes on. Twist and turn. So before I was wondering what this little button thing was for, and it's actually what holds the hose in. So you just push that down, the hose slides in, and then that comes out a bit and locks it in. Then we have, looks like a little filter that goes on here, so that when you connect your hose from the tap on, the water is filtered first, keep any debris, I suppose, or gunk out of the washer, the pressure washer. That's basically putting the parts together. Now time to use it. Unfortunately, I can't use it straight away. So after reading the instruction manual, it says that you need to use a minimum 18mm water hose and no longer than 15 meters long. All the water hoses we have at home here are all 12mm or half-inch ones, and so I don't want to use it after reading the instructions of, supposed to use an 18mm. Maybe just the bigger size hose gives it enough water. I don't want it to basically run out of water. That would be the worst thing for a pump to use. So I'd have to hold off until I go and buy a water hose. So something to consider, if you're going to buy one of these, make sure you have an 18mm hose minimum. That's no longer than 15 meters long. So we will look at buying one of those, and I'll tell you how much they are when I find one as well. And then we can plug it in and try it out and go from there. So we will be back in a while. Well, it's a new day. I've been out and bought myself an 18mm hose. This one is 18 meters long, so I'm going to have to roll it out and cut off 3 meters of it, just so I adhere to what the manual says. And then we can run the hose out, run extension lead out, and get this ready to go. Now on the back of it as well, don't think I mentioned when I unboxed it, but there is a little container here where you can put some form of cleaning solution. I'm just going to use water initially and see how that goes, and then if I need to put something else in there I will, but I'm pretty certain water should be fine, certainly for cleaning the shed. So we'll run this out, get this ready, and be able to start using this very soon. Well, I've cut my 3 meters of hose off, so that's good. Reduced my hose down to 15 meters, refitted the end on it, ran my lead out, got it all ready. So what I've found is that when I try and fit this 18 millimeter, this is my new hose, it's too big. It just doesn't clip on. This fitting is for a 12 millimeter hose, or a 1/2 inch hose. So this is our standard garden hose and it clips straight on perfectly. So that fitting, or this filter, is designed for a 12 millimeter, 1/2 inch. And so after doing that, I'm like, did I read the instructions wrong? So in the instructions here, it clearly shows, it says use a garden hose with a maximum length of 15 meters and a minimum diameter of 18 millimeter, and in brackets 3/4 of an inch. So I'm not sure why Ryobi then provide a fitting with a 12 millimeter one. It just does not make any sense. So what I'm going to have to do is go back to the shops a third time and try and find a fitting that will convert from a 12 mil to an 18. Yeah, very strange. Anyway, I will find the answers and I'll come back and let everyone know. Well, here we are guys with another day of trying to use a pressure washer. So I went out and I've bought an end fitting. This is about $10. So what I should be able to do is take this one off of the hose. This should fit on the 18 mil hose, and then the end that clips on should fit on the end here as a 12 mil or 1/2 inch connection. So we will now change this over. I'll run some power out as well, connect the hose to the tap, and get this ready to go again. Alright, so we've got the hose connected and turned on. We don't have the electricity on yet, and the instructions actually say before we turn the electricity on is just to pull the trigger to get water through it, so that when we turn the electricity on and use it, it's got water through the pump. So we'll just see what happens. Cool. All right, well, we'll turn some electricity on and start giving the shed a clean. So we've done halfway along the shed thereabouts with the Ryobi, and look, it's done quite a good job. This has never been cleaned before. I haven't rubbed it or scrubbed it or anything. We're just using the Ryobi pressure washer. It does need a bit more to go over it, and maybe a bit of a rub or a scrub or something as we went might help remove some of that stuff a bit easier. But for a comparison, what I thought I'd do is got a bucket of soapy water here with a sponge in it, just my normal hose. So I'm going to turn the hose on now and just try and clean this little bit behind me, and just see how much effort it takes if I didn't use the pressure washer at all and just use a hose and some soapy water and a sponge. And that might sort of give us a bit of indication of whether it's worth using that as well, or not. I reckon I've done about half as much of what I did with the pressure washer. The hose itself couldn't get that off, as you probably saw. Had to use the bucket and basically the strength and just scrub it with the sponge. So it takes a little bit of effort to do, but I really think my work has come up cleaner than using that pressure washer. Now I've got some concrete out the front and I'm going to just do a little patch. It's only quite a small spot we've got, but we're going to go and try it out there and see, because obviously you're not going to be scrubbing it with a sponge or anything like that. So we'll take the pressure washer out the front and see what it's like doing concrete. That was just quite a quick run over the concrete, but I'm really happy with how it works on there. I'm not quite sure what the difference is as to why it was harder to get off of the shed than this, but the speed and just it pulls it all up quite quickly. You could have a slightly wider jet as well than what I was having on the shed, and still, like I said, struggling to get that off. But this here, yeah, it cleaned the concrete really well, so very happy with it. I'm going to keep doing a bit more of the shed probably tomorrow now. The sun's just about to set, so again I'll do some more with the pressure wash tomorrow, and probably with my arm as well, and just do a little bit more check to see if it works better in some situations than the other. But we'll check that tomorrow. Alright guys, well, another afternoon, we're going to do a bit more cleaning of the shed. So I'm going to use the pressure washer again today, as well as some soap and water. And I just wanted to say that the shed itself, well, I know for a fact that it's been sort of 2 or 3 years at least that it definitely hasn't been cleaned. And it could have been a few years before that as well, since it was last cleaned. So that might be a reason why the Ryobi pressure washer was struggling to clean some of it. I don't know, and look, I don't have something else to compare it to either at the moment. We're just using this to see how it goes. So today we'll do a mix of both. We'll use it and we'll do some scrubbing with the sponge as well and soapy water, and between both of them I'm sure it'll come up fine. We'll see how quickly we can get this done. So yeah, let's get back into it. There we go. That's the first use of our Ryobi pressure washer, cleaning off the shed. So what did I think of it? Well, initially, as you saw, it did clean the shed, but sort of struggled with that really thick, grimy, moldy, I don't know what it was, stuff. So I think there's a bit of a balance there between how powerful it is and what you're actually cleaning. Down that side of the shed and around the other side, it worked perfectly, and it did change too when I put the soap in it as well. It seemed to improve. So I'm not sure if it needed soap that first day, and that might have helped get it off easier. Don't know. So this little one here, it cost me about $100, and then I had to spend just under $40 for the hose, and then about another $10 for that fitting to fit on to the filter. Why Ryobi has that, I still don't know, but anyway, it is what it is. So it's about $150 in total to actually then start using it. And overall, my shed is now clean. So it's something that I'll do probably once a year, I think now. I'll keep an eye on it, especially this side that doesn't see as much sun. That will be why it's got more growth on it than the other side where they do get a bit more sunshine. So we've got some other things to clean as well, so I'll keep going with that and see how it goes. But overall, quite happy with it. It's done the job that I needed it to do. But that's all we have in this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button. That'd be awesome. And we'll catch you next time. God bless.